a service of the cable television industry and your local cable company.
Today in the Weather Classroom, it's a blast from the past. The history of weather forecasting.
I'm Jill Brown, a meteorologist at the Weather Channel. Today on the Weather Classroom, we're going to be talking about the history of weather forecasting. We'll see how weather forecasting officially began here in the U.S. and take a look at some old and unusual weather instruments. We begin with a little U.S. history.
You've heard phrases like, and compare it with the predictions from the bubbles in your coffee cup. Here's another one. Dew on grass, rain won't come to pass. Dew will form on clear nights when there's little or no wind. If you see dew on the grass and the sky is clear that morning, chances are it won't rain. Keep in mind, however, depending on what's happening in the atmosphere, conditions in the afternoon can change quickly.
Did you know the invention of the telegraph in the mid-1800s made it possible for weather observers to distribute their reports all around the U.S.?
Let's talk about what we covered today.
The U.S. Weather Bureau was established in 1891 to collect weather observations from around the U.S. Today, it is known as the National Weather Service. Many forecasting tools invented hundreds of years ago are still in use today, such as the mercury barometer. Before meteorology became an official science, people devised their own ways to predict the weather.
That's all the time we have for this edition of the Weather Classroom. We'll see you next time.
The Weather Classroom is also available on the Internet. Point your browser to www.weather.com/education, where you will find the Weather Classroom schedule, teacher activities, glossary terms, and more. You can also learn more about other activities from the Weather Channel's Education Department.
The Weather Channel. No place on Earth has better weather.
It was really scarred up. The skyway is closed. A 10-car accident.
People wonder why we go out and try to be the closest we can to a hurricane. Well, we all do it with the knowledge that this is what the people want to see, but we also have the responsibility to keep them safe.
Did you know many of the people behind the scenes at the Weather Channel have backgrounds in graphic design, TV production, journalism, and engineering? On-camera meteorologists, or OCMs as they are called, attend the briefings, check weather information, and discuss the weather news stories of the day with forecasters and producers before they go on air. One of the familiar faces you see on the Weather Channel and here on the Weather Classroom is Jill Brown.
Well, when I come in, the first thing I like to do is kind of skim through the country, and I make my notes, where it's raining, where it's snowing, where the big storms are, and the little things, where they might have a record high today. And then I come over to the computer to check out the latest radars, and so after kind of skimming the observations, I can see it for myself and see what I'm going to be showing the viewers. Around Belmont in the last hour, heavy rain was reported. Looks like that's scrambling off through Orange County.
See those maps that are behind Jill? Well, this is what it really looks like in the studio. It's a blank blue wall. The TV monitors on either side of the blue screen have the mixed picture of Jill plus the weather maps. That's how she can see what he's pointing to. It's all put together in a very dark room known as Master Control, where technical directors like Sybil Staples keep it running smoothly.
As you can see now, I have a camera punched up, which is showing Jill's camera, and I also have in the preset monitor, which is what's coming up next over here for my benefit. I have the cover shot punched up, just to let you see the entire studio, which is usually shown at the end of our segment. I also have to make sure that the correct cameras are punched up for each person. I also make sure the correct microphones are turned on, and I also communicate with the on-camera meteorologist.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Jill Brown and Jim Cantor with
The people behind the scenes at the Weather Channel love what they do, and it takes a lot of hard work to get there.
I'd say the biggest thing that drove me to meteorology was the tornado outbreak of May 31st, 1985 in western Pennsylvania, where I grew up. And right then and there, I kind of realized that's the step I wanted to head into.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of drama and excitement in the profession. But there's also a lot of hard work involved in getting there.
It's a tough major, there's no doubt about that.
I think, basic journalism courses, TV production. And you can't exclude all your other classes either. There's a lot that comes into this. It's not just switching TV. You need to know your math, your science. All this comes in with the Weather Channel.
Perhaps the Weather Channel's tropical specialist, John Hope, says it best.
Well, I think anybody also that gets in it, they really have to make up their mind that they love the work. And the reason they might love the work might be varied, but it's certainly a scientific challenge.
That's it. Another edition of The Weather Classroom. See you next time.